finish again.
So the time is 6:33, and I call this special meeting of the Red Oak City Council to order. Let it be known that pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551, all notices have been posted and in accordance to Section 551. And we do have a quorum present. We have Mayor Pro Tem Drake, Councilman Franklin, Councilman Goodwin, and Councilman Smith. Absent are Councilman Lightfoot. We have city management and of course our legal advice attorney, Mr. Robert E. Shager. So anyway, notice has been duly posted and we are calling this meeting to order at 6:33. So we have a consent or agenda, and consent agenda, we'd kind of like to talk about it. They're considered routine in nature and can be acted upon by one motion, and we'll kind of brief everybody on it. And it's consider adoption of resolution number 23-049R, the City Council of City of Red Oak, Texas, awarding a bid and authorizing execution of a contract for the Live Oak Building demolition project, authorizing city manager or the designee to execute the appropriate and necessary documents and provide an effective date. Mr. Fuller.
Okay, and we have Mr. Williams here too, because he may hit segue into a little bit, but the biggest thing I wanted to talk about is on this project, we had originally planned with our budget to be able to do the demo on the buildings and then come back and asphalt the new parking area and the drive down to the ball field area, not the whole ball field area, but the first drive. So par for the course, it seems, with asbestos. We got reports from the school when we did the transaction that showed it clean, but when we actually started the process to do the demolition, it came back hot. So the budget for the demo went over budget by the tune of what, $70-something thousand. So where we're at today, we have to demo the buildings before we can asphalt any parking anyway. So I think what we've got to do is dip into the parking to get that extra 70,000. Use that on the demo. We'll still have what left in the, we still have 150 left in the parking and asphalt. So what we'll need to do, and it sounds like after having some more discussion, is we may need to have a little bit of engineering done to be able to do some of that asphalting. Because we don't want to put the situation right back where we had it before. We just fixed all the drainage coming down this area, so we may need to do a little bit of engineering to be able to ensure that we don't just flood us again. And we may need to be looking at some amount of engineering for the drive coming into the ball field areas, just because we don't have a real base. All we have is right now the rock that was put down for the driveway. So we need to verify that base is adequate, and if it's not, then we need to make sure we put down the right base so that we don't just throw our money out there and turn around and have to redo it later. But at this point, I think unless Scott or Jonathan, if y'all have anything to add, I think the bottom line is we have to move forward with the demo before we can do any of the rest of it. And then we'll have to figure out how far 150,000 will get us on the asphalt, and then probably move over into next year's budget, try to make up some of the difference on the parking at that point. And that's our recommendation.
So we're still going to take action on it, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So entertain a motion to approve resolution 23 dash.
And let me point one thing out, because we bid it a couple of different ways. One was to demo building C, which is the one hall over here. We're not doing that at this point. We're just going with the old buildings up front. We're not demoing anything on building C. I don't know that we want to right now, because once it's gone, then the option for doing something later with it is gone as well. Doesn't mean we don't demo it at some point, but I don't think now is the time to do that. So anyway, I just want to make sure y'all were aware that that is off the table, at least for right
We don't have to change anything on the motion.
now. No.
And so this is the northern building by the football field, the cafeteria, the Quonset hut, the southern building where the tax office was, and this metal tin middle building out here where
Some barn shed.
the barn shed, the old school bus barn. Okay. All right. So entertain a motion to adopt resolution 23-049R.
So moved.
Councilman Drake, Councilman Smith, those in favor,
Franklin, I.
Aye.
Drake, aye.
Smith, aye.
That passes 4-0. So we need to kind of discuss some things, so we're gonna go into closed session at 6:39. And we do have other items to kind of come back and take care of, but we're gonna go into closed session at 6:39. Pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, 551.087, 551.072. And I'd like to invite Alan Hughley into executive session.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, there, items 2, 3, and 4 on your agenda tonight. We wanted to go in executive session about those items, and I would like Mr. Hughley, since he participated on our behalf in some of these discussions, to attend the executive session on those 3 items.
And
And
let's bring Jared back to it in case there's any questions on the map.
okay, and Jared Binford, please. The time is 7:04, and we will reconvene back into open session. We have regular business. Item 2, consider adoption of resolution number 23-050, City of Red Oak, Texas, approving the terms and conditions of a jurisdictional boundaries. Sorry. And relinquishment of extraterritorial jurisdiction boundaries and interlocal agreement between City of Pecan Hill, Texas, and the City of Red Oak, Texas, authorizing its execution by the mayor and providing an effective date. We're gonna go ahead and talk about all these since, can I do that?
Yeah, we can, if you want, Mayor, I'll read all three items into the record. The other item is to consider adoption of resolution 23-051R of the city of Red Oak approving the terms and conditions of a boundary and interlocal agreement between the city of Waxahachie and the city of Red Oak, relinquishing a portion of Red Oak's extraterritorial jurisdiction. Waxahachie's extraterritorial jurisdiction as set forth in Exhibit A, and establish new extraterritorial jurisdictional boundary and authorizing its execution by the mayor and providing an effective date. And lastly is to consider resolution 23-052R of the city of council of the city of Red Oak, Texas, accepting a voluntary annexation petition and authorizing the setting of a date, time, and place for one public hearing on the contemplated annexation depicted in Exhibit A attached here to and made a part hereof for all purposes, the annexation area by the city of Red Oak, Texas, authorizing and directing staff to publish notice of the hearing and institution of the annexation proceedings by adoption of the annexation ordinance to occur at the regular city council session, and to prepare a service plan for the annexation area, and the annexation area being more particularly depicted in Exhibit A, and providing an effective date. And since I wrote them, it's up to me to read them. So
Okay. So, do we need to do one motion or?
we'll do separate motions. If and do them one by one. We discussed some of this in executive session to answer any legal questions. This is just portion of city of Pecan Hill that's being disannexed. And they are then relinquishing their ETJ, same for Waxahachie, and then subsequently the owner of the property that is being disannexed from Pecan Hill is seeking to come into the city of Red Oak, and that accomplishes all three of those things.
So consider adoption of resolution number 23-050R. So move. Councilman Drake,
Second.
Councilman Franklin. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Aye.
Drake, I. Smith, I.
That passes 4-0. Entertain a motion to adopt resolution number 23-051R.
So move.
Councilman Goodwin,
Second.
Councilman Smith, those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Aye.
Drake, I. Smith, I.
That's 4-0. And entertain a motion to adopt resolution 23-052R.
So move.
Councilman Smith, second was Councilman Franklin. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Aye.
Drake, I. Smith, I.
All right, that passes 4-0.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, and that concludes all of that portion of your agenda.
Okay. Item 5, this is appointments and reappointments and resignations for approval. And Parks and Rec Commission reappointment of Chantel Cole. Shanetta Cole. As a regular member for a 2-year term for 2023. Her information is in front of you. 2023 to June 2025. We'll do that one.
So move.
Okay, Councilman
Second.
Franklin, Councilman Goodwin. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Aye.
Drake, I. Smith, I.
All right, that passes 4-0. And then on the P and Z Commission, appointment of 2 alternate members. And those members, I don't have my thing in front of me. It's Brian Bell and excuse me, I'm sorry.
Ms. Mendoza.
Oh, yeah, Susie Mendoza as alternate members for a 2-year term from June 2023 through June 2025, and the remainder of a two-year term, June. So we need to choose one to go with one? They're two different timeframes, June of 2022 to June 2024.
Yes, you had to pick one to go in one slot and one to go in the other slot.
Okay.
But I would point out that there are actually three applications. for
Oh,
P&Z.
okay.
So it's Susan Mendoza and Brian Bell and also Jordan Key. And I don't know Jordan Key. I think, is that Jeff, is that somebody you know?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll entertain a motion. Let's talk about for the, I don't know how to do this. So for the, let's do the remainder of the two-year term for the June 2022 through June 2024. I can speak to Susan Mendoza and Brian Bell, but I can't speak to the other one. This Councilman Smith, can you give us any background for that one?
Well, he's been here for a while up on the whatever the Fox Hollow edition, that area.
Okay.
He's in that neighborhood. And his parents have been here for years. They own Key. One of the,
Painting.
yeah, Key Painting, I think what it is called.
Okay.
So his parents are business owners here in Red Oak and all that.
Okay.
He's looking to get involved somewhere. And I know he put in for the ZBOA, but that.
Well,
we didn't
Well,
need
we'll
that.
still probably get that established because we still need to have that on the books.
Yeah.
So if he put in for that, I'd
Yeah.
ask that we consider him for that.
Yeah, he was here last week
Okay,
for all that.
all right. I would make the recommendation and I hope y'all would support me. Brian Bell, let's do the two-year
Yes.
remaining two-year term for that June 2022 to June 2024. Can I have approval for that?
So move.
Councilman, Greg, I apologize.
Second.
Councilman Goodwin. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Aye.
Drake, I.
All right,
Smith, I.
that passes 4-0. And then for the full term, June 2023 through 25, Susie Mendoza. Entertain that motion, please.
So move. Second.
Councilman Franklin, Councilman Drake, those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Aye.
Drake, I. Smith, I.
And then I think that's all we have to do, correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll entertain a motion at 7:12 to close.
So moved.
Councilman Goodwin. Second. Councilman Franklin, I apologize, those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Aye.
Drake, I. Smith, I.
That passes 4-0.